lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome in, everybody. Once again, it is Saturday night here on Sim Racing Media, and we are back with the Boughton Enterprises LLC NextGen Cup Series from the tricky triangle that is Pocono for the United Association 200. These guys are set to do 200 miles here at Pocono. It is one of the more difficult tracks to race here this evening. I'm Mike Timoni. Joined up in the booth with me, as usual, is Front Row Joe. Joe, man, how's it going?
Not too bad, Mike. We're in for an exciting race. 200 miles, 80 laps total here at the Tricky Triangle. Man, you got Tristan Bailey coming off of a win at Richmond last week, and he'll be looking to extend on his points lead as he's still the current points leader. So excited to get things going and seeing what kind of show these guys are going to put on for us.
Yeah, definitely. The points are starting to tighten up around that cut line. The top 12 do make it to the chase, and there are currently right now 4 drivers within a couple points of that cut line. Michael Carter, Ryan McCall, Pete Walsh, Jonathan Dominics, all within 3 points of each other as they're trying to kind of work their way through this season here and wind up in the chase. We also are in the midst of our Eliminator Challenge here. Eliminator Challenge last week. Pete Walsh had to take a provisional, so he wound up getting cut, which leaves us with 8 drivers here tonight. Tristan Bailey, Doug Denise, Adam Boughton, John Osborne, Chris Howell, Kent Mueller, Anthony Ludi, and Tyler Burden. So those are the drivers to keep an eye out for as they are just about ready to wrap up qualifying. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of surprised looking at the ticker right at the moment and who's sitting on the top row.
Yeah, Evan Marlowe taking the pole tonight. Little bit of a surprise, as Tristan Bailey usually qualifies up front, but nevertheless, we'll see if Evan Marlowe can't convert that pole into a win tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Usually see the kind of like the big 3 up there: Tristan Bailey, Osborne, Furtick. Seem to kind of get those poles every now and again, but Tristan Bailey and John Osborne were the fastest in practice, but Marlowe said, nope, not so fast, guys. I'm going to put this 21 Chevy up here on the pole, and does just that. So as they get ready to wrap up qualifying and get down to the grid, this is one of the more, well, it's called a tricky triangle for a reason, to get to tracks to get around here, as they have to take each corner slightly different because they are not similar at all.
No, definitely not. Excuse me. Whew. not enough beer. The tunnel turn is where we're going to see a lot of bottlenecking. It's a very narrow turn. You got to enter it at the right angle. There's not much banking at all. So these guys are going to have to be real cautious, make sure they back up their entries and not get into the guy in front of them and not get too tight and hit the wall.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing is getting onto pit road is not the funnest thing in the world either, as you usually, when you're coming through, heading towards the front stretch there, you're going to be out almost to the wall, and that pit entry is makes you take a relatively sharp turn, so you have to make sure you call out those pit entries. Otherwise, you have the ability to get run over in a hurry.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard left turn for these guys to get into the pits, and which is going to make it even more difficult. If you're not running that inside line, you're going to lose a lot of speed and risk getting ran over. So it's going to be difficult, but I don't think these guys should have too many issues.
No, this should be fine here as we get rolling here. We're going to go ahead and take through the starting grid. Evan Marlowe, Tristan Bailey on that front row. John Osborne, Dwayne Furtick, teammates going to be in row number 2. Christopher Howell and Tyler Burden make up row 3. Row 4, Randy Meeks and Kent Mueller. Aaron Miller and Adam Boughton there in row number 5. P11, Jonathan Dominics with Chris Evans just to his outside. Robert Roth and Ryan McCall, row 7. Row 8, Anthony Ludi and Michael Carter. Row 9, Douglas King and Gary Nash. Pete Walsh and Christopher Roth make up row number 10. Alan Holtzman and Doug Denise in 21 and 22. And that is the field as we get ready to go here. Coming down between turns 2 and 3 here.
Yeah, that's I'd say that'd probably be backstretch number 2.
Pace car's going to make that hard left-hand turn down pit lane. Marlowe with the lead as they head to the restart zone. Green flag in the air. Marlowe, Bailey leading them on down. Looks like that inside line checked up about halfway back.
Yeah, these restarts are rather tricky. Everybody's trying to anticipate the line going, and when it doesn't, that bottleneck just starts to flow.
Yeah, it definitely does, as these guys are working their way through turn one, coming down the backstretch. Howell's able to kind of work to the inside there, but can't quite clear. Osborne falls in line as they work their way to the outside wall.
Yeah, you can see Howell's tried to stick the nose in there and had to kind of back out a little bit last minute, because that's calamity. That's going to be calamity quarter for the night.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it, as Dwayne Furtick and Tyler Burton kind of go back and forth, with Kent Mueller closing in as well. Randy Meeks also getting involved in the middle there.
Yeah, everybody's single filed out already on lap number 2 here. It's probably going to be the move for the majority of the race. It's Pocono is one of those tracks where you do not want to stay double file for too long.
No, and you see these drivers each kind of taking their own lane through the corners, and if you're double filed, that guy on the outside is not going to be very happy as you're starting to slide up the track on corner exit, as Osborne has to get pinched down there just a little bit with Howell.
Yeah, and you'll see some double file action as they try and make some passes through the corners, but the most efficient way to run this track is going to be single file. Excuse me again. That's kind of how you maximize the draft, and it makes it a whole heck of a lot easier to make these corners.
Yeah, it definitely does, and it keeps the race rolling along here. It is a long race, talking 200 miles, so there's plenty of time to make some moves. Speaking of making moves, this 94 machine has worked his way around a couple drivers, is the fastest one on the track as far as lap times go, with the 52:29. We saw in practice some of the drivers getting down to that 51-second mark, but I don't think we'll see that till that after that first pit stop.
Yeah, definitely not a. This is definitely not a racetrack where you want to push too early. You want to let the car settle in, let your tires get up to optimal temperature, and it's going to be one of those tracks that you have to be extremely precise when you make your passes. We'll see a lot of passes happen in the turns. We'll see a few of them happen on the straightaways as these cars catch a toe and try and do a slingshot. But majority of the passing tonight is going to be in the corners. These guys are going to have to be really precise, have good throttle control, smooth inputs, and make a clean pass.
Tyler Burton just went purple fastest lap with the 52:17. Back that up with the 52:18. Running P4, so getting a little bit of help from that draft there as they work their way through lap number 5 here. The Aeon's teammates here, Marlowe and Bailey, kind of look like they have a plan for the most part. Marlowe goes high. Looks like he might have just missed that corner. Bailey's going to take advantage. Howell's going to follow him through, as does Tyler Burton. Burton had a massive run there. Looks like he was going to try and stick his nose to the inside of Howell to get by. Nothing doing for the moment. Still stuck to his inside there, as Marlowe is kind of helping Howell maintain his position.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscue by the 21 of Evan Marlowe coming out of turn number 3. That's another one of those corners that you have to be really careful, really precise. It's really easy to push up the track and go too wide, and everybody's going to end up falling on the inside of you, and you'll lose 2 or 3 spots, as we see Marlowe falling back to 4th.
Yeah, if you get out of line or take your foot out of the throttle for even half a second, you are going to lose 3-4 spots in a hurry here, as Howell is all over the rear bumper there of Boughton. Howell takes it to the high side, going to try and see if he can make that one machine stick up there. Not quite, but he's maintained his position right behind Boughton.
Yeah, as these tires settle in and these drivers get a little bit more comfortable, you'll see some of them start to run the higher line, get some extra momentum coming out of the corner. You put that together with a toe, and you're in prime position for making a pass. And as the race progresses, we might see 2 or 3 different groups of drivers here as everybody starts to get spaced out. Some drivers fall off a pace, and that's going to make it a little bit difficult for the guys that are in that second or third pack to keep a draft going, to make some time up and catch back up to that lead pack.
Yeah, if some of the drivers around you lose their tires way before you do, I mean, that's going to slow that line down quite a bit, and you're going to have to try and find a friend in a hurry. I mean, Pocono you don't really think is one of the drafting tracks, but it still helps to have a little bit of toe down these straightaways here.
Yeah, I mean, excuse me. Pocono, this is one of those tracks where you're going to get a lot of speed down the straightaways, but unfortunately, you lose a significant amount of it in the corners, and if you don't have the tires, you're not going to have exit speed, and you're going to lose a whole lot of momentum coming down these straightaways.
Robert Roth drives it in deep inside of Dominic's, going to just clear him. Ludi going to go down to the inside of Dominic's and try and take that spot. Well, not quite. He battles back on the outside, so he'll maintain his position for the moment. Checking back on the driver now of the 40 machine, Doug Denise. He is sitting in that eliminator spot, looking to try and improve a few spots here. Anthony Ludi is the driver that he is racing at the moment, running 14th, so he's got to improve, 5 positions there to get inside that top 13 and save himself from elimination.
Yeah, if Denise can just hold on and make it to the end of the race, I think he'll be okay. We should at some point, and I hate to say it this early, but we should at some point get a caution, which will bunch the field back up, give him a chance to make up some more spots, and get in front of Ludi to stay in this challenge.
Yeah, and as we were talking about that, you get the you get that gap. You have Mueller, and then it's clear back to McCall in that 90 machine, and that's over a second and a half. So he's just outside of that the draft range. If he can close in and get within like 1 1/4, he might be able to catch that draft just a little bit and help pull him down those straightaways and close in on that next group in front of him. And then we also have, Marlowe about a second behind Christopher Howell, and he's got, a couple drivers behind him that are looking to improve their position in Osborne and Furtick. So he's trying to maintain his spot at the moment as well.
Yeah, and you see drivers like Evan Marlowe and Ryan McCall that are kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. Is they've got separation between the car in front of them, but they've also got separation from the car behind them. So they have some tough decisions to make because, to get the most efficient draft, you want to be close to each other. So if either one of those drivers back up to the car that's behind them, it could end up hurting them more than it helps them. Tristan Bailey, Tyler Burden, Christopher Howell. Your top three right now, they've got about a 2-second lead, or excuse me, 2-second gap over Marlowe. So these top three right here are really gaining some momentum, pulling away from the field, making it their race against each other rather than the rest of the field.
Yeah, Tristan Bailey took that little mistake from Marlowe. Looked like he was kind of just saving his stuff. And now he's out front and he is starting to drive away. Has almost over a half second on Tyler Burden at the moment. And now here comes that other line working their way to the inside of Marlowe. As Osborne pulled down, Furtick did as well. Furtick winds up pulling back in. Going to send Osborne down to try and make that pass on that 21 machine. Still side by side. Marlowe should have the advantage coming off of the corner, but Furtick gets behind teammate Osborne, and they're going to try and push through here on the backstretch.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Marlowe with that miscue. Once you lose position here, it is really difficult to get it back. And I know I feel like we say that week after week, because it's not really easy to pass on any track, but tracks like Pocono make it significantly harder to pass, especially with these turns and the amount of draft that you can get. You get a run on somebody and go to get on the inside of them, and you lose all your momentum, and makes it really difficult to pass. So this is definitely one of those tracks where you want to stay in your position. You want to be going positive, not negative.
Yeah, you saw what it took to get Osborne there by Marlowe. Now Furtick's going to try and pull down. Looks like he's going to have the duck back in.
He went for the side draft. He just didn't quite have the nose where it needed to be to get a good enough side draft. He's got the nose on the inside of him now.
He's got the run there, and behind him Randy Meeks is trying to do the same thing. Not quite enough there for Meeks as he has to duck back in line, as does Furtick.
As you can see, Marlowe running groove up, coming out of turn number 3. It seems like that's going to be the groove to have as much momentum coming out of the turn as these tires start to heat up and get some wear.
And Randy Meeks just lost all momentum. He went back now to P9. Fell behind Aaron Miller after getting up there with Boughton here. What else is going on towards the back here? Looks like we have Michael Carter and Ludi kind of battling on and off here a little bit. Looks like Denise has closed one spot. He's currently running P17.
And then in the front of the pack, you've got Tristan Bailey doing what Tristan Bailey does.
Looks like Tyler Burden kind of found his line there, as well as now he has a second lead over Christopher Howell. Osborne a second and a half back. Furtick was able to get by Marlowe. And Marlowe looks like he's going to be under attack again, this time from the 94 and the 10. Just stay down low. Boughton goes high. Miller also high. Gonna keep him tucked tight.
Yeah, unfortunately, Marlowe there falling victim to momentum.
Definitely is. Got that M&M's paint scheme on there.
We had a little contact there between the number 10, Aaron Miller, and the 94 of Boughton there coming out of turn number 2. Got Boughton just a little out of shape, which allowed Miller to clear him, and now we've got Marlowe fighting back against Boughton.
It's definitely a race of momentum here as they go back and forth. But as I was going to say, these guys, whoa, Miller into the wall, off the wall, into the wall again. Going to get by on the bottom. Marlowe also going to go to the bottom. Miller's going to lose a couple positions here as he did not handle that turn very well at all. But anyway, back to what I was saying about the M&Ms there. These drivers are going to hit Chicagoland next week and do a memorial race there for Kyle Busch. Going to be 234 laps, so it should be a long, good time at Chicagoland next week.
Yeah, we will absolutely see some speed at Chicagoland as well. Chicagoland, one of my favorite tracks. I'm so glad they brought it back onto the circuit for 2026.
Robert Roth getting by Dominic's there, trying to stay in front. Anthony Ludi still running P13. I think everybody's kind of single file out, just kind of set on running their laps. We did have one driver hit pit lane, and that is the 8 of Kent Mueller. Came down on lap 15. So not sure if that, I wouldn't have thought that was planned, but I think these drivers are going to try and at least get to lap 26, 27.
It looks like it was a 8-second pit stop for Kent Mueller, I believe. So maybe just took 2 tires and fuel. I'm not sure what his plan is there. But I've seen it all too. Excuse me. I'm all too familiar with Pocono from running all the officials. It's almost like after the first 5 or 10 laps, whatever position you're in is more than likely the position you're going to finish in, because it's just so difficult to keep momentum through these corners. You'll gain it, you lose it, and once you lose it, it's gone. It takes you a few laps to get it back. So. But we'll see how these guys do. Bailey's still out in front. Burton trying to stick with him as much as he can. He's fallen off about 1.5 in the past 5 laps or so, which is relatively good in a sense, because, Tristan Bailey, when he does what he does, he can pull away, 1, 2, 3 seconds. So excellent job by Burton, keeping him in his windshield.
Yeah, looking at the lap times, the fastest lap for Tyler was at 52.18. Last lap was a 52.64. So, I mean, not even at half a second.
Yeah, it's about
a little over half a second.
Yeah, but if you compare his last time to Tristan Bailey, he's only about let's see, fourth, about 600ths of a second. So he's still keeping pace. Tristan Bailey's got a little bit more pace than him, but he's still got him in his sights.
And now we have Osborne starting to close in and work over Christopher Howell. Howell on the high side, got that number one Chevy battling for the front for a while, but now has found himself kind of in no man's land for a few laps as he lost the draft there of Tyler Burton. Now he is going to be under attack with Burdick and Osborne closing in pretty quickly here.
Yeah, Osborne shooting down to the inside. Gonna try and get some drafting from his teammate. Looks to go to the inside of Christopher Howell here in the tunnel turn, and he's gonna get half a car length in front of him. Can't quite clear him completely. Gonna have to fall in line and reset and try and get him here in turn number 3.
Looks like
Osborne opting. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, it looks like he'll do it, as he just was able to get that that little bit of momentum he needed through turn 3. Burdick now closing in on the back of Howell as well.
Yeah, Howell had just a little bit of a run coming off of the corner, but with Osborne able to complete the slide job and get up in front of Howell, it's just going to negate any momentum he would have gained coming out.
Got Randy Savage on the 06 of Tyler Burton, and the designer in the YouTube chat, Rowdy Travis Designs.
Yeah, I was seeing that that paint scheme. That's pretty awesome, the way that they've put Rowdy Travis into where the Slim Jim was. That's a pretty sleek paint job. So Rowdy Travis, you may or may not have just gained a customer, as I'm really digging that paint scheme.
Howell's able to hold off Burdick for the moment. They got quite a gap, though, from Burdick back to this next pack here.
Yeah, that goes back to what I was saying just about 10 or 15 laps ago. We're going to see 2 or 3 different packs of cars all trying to gain position and ultimately try and work together to close the gap on the cars in front of them.
Yeah, they're going to have to work together here. It looks like Osborne kind of moved down to try and help his teammate there. Burdick get by Howell. Then he has to go back out to the wall so he can make this corner the way he wants to.
Yeah, you're going to need a buddy or 2 or 3 to gain ground here. I know it's, ideally it's probably not something that a lot of these drivers want to do and, work with somebody that's other than a teammate. But with that being said, this is one of those tracks where you're going to have to work together, and for lack of a better term, be friends until the final lap. Goes back to the old saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Yeah, definitely. As it looks like we have pit stops underway. Christopher Howell, Gary Nash both coming in. This is about when I said 27, 28 laps. So.
Yeah, we'll see what the the limit of the pit window is when Tristan Bailey comes down, because he pushes it until the very end. Tyler Burton coming down pit road.
Boughton, Furtick, Boughton, Marlowe, Miller, Meeks, Roth, all coming down. I think everybody got in clean for the most part. I mean, the nice thing about Pocono is you don't lose a lap when you come down pit road.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking, I'm like, these guys are going to come out on the lead lap still.
Yeah, Christopher Howe came down on lap 27, and right now he is shown in position 15 for the moment. And Denise staying out.
Yeah, we've now got the top 12 drivers on pit road, with Douglas King being the first one out. That'll cycle Doug Denise up into the lead for the time being.
He's going to have to come down pit road.
Yeah, that was short-lived.
Going to get his leading a lap point probably and come in. Douglas King coming in. So that's going to cycle right now Tyler Boughton to the front.
Yeah, that was a good short pitch strategy there by Tyler Boughton, as we see Tristan Bailey is now sitting in P10, just about 7 seconds back.
Tristan Bailey had an issue. Not sure what his issue was, but he spent an extra 7 seconds in his box.
Oh, wow.
His pit time was 22.98 compared to everybody else's 15. Because he came in right in front of Osborne, so he should have came out right in front of Osborne. They came down at the same time. Well, that will spread out the field as green flag pit stops usually do.
Yeah, but if you look at the splits right now, everybody seems to be close enough to get just a little bit of tow, especially around where Tristan Bailey is. He's got a few cars around him. They should, in theory, be able to make up some time.
Yeah, he's got his teammate in front of him, Evan Marlowe. They worked really well on the front row. It looks like Ryan McCall also is in front of him, so 3 teammates there. So hopefully he can get these guys to all work together and get towards the front. They do have a second and a half to make up to get it up into this 5th place battle here between Boughton and Howell.
Boughton going to complete the pass on Christopher Howell right before the entry of turn number 1. And from the eyeball test, it does look like that group of Bailey, Marlowe, and McCall are closing that gap.
Yeah, they'll definitely pick up the toe here of the one of Christopher Howell, as he's lost a little bit of ground there from the 94, but they still have Man, Tyler Burton's out to almost a 5-second lead over 4th place now. Osborne, Furtick, Boughton, Howell, Bailey, Marlowe. Bailey's gained he's almost he's over a half-second clear of Marlowe. These guys definitely are not going to be able to work together as Marlowe can't keep up for the moment with Bailey. McCall's getting a little push there from Miller. Like Robert Roth and Douglas King are in pit lane.
It's almost like Tristan Bailey's doing a solo drive thing because he's just pulling away from that group. And he's slowly closing the gap on Christopher Howell as well.
Yeah, he's definitely getting closer to get that toe. If he can get there, he should close in relatively quickly. And as far as our elimination tournament is going, looks like Kent Mueller, barring something drastic happening, he is finding himself going to be fighting pretty hard to get out of this lap down spot and get back to the lead lap so he can stay involved in this tournament.
Yeah, and I think our pre-race conversation is kind of getting negated right now, as these drivers are doing quite the good job staying clean, staying green. So we might just go green to green on this one.
Yeah, after that first stint, there wasn't too many drivers kind of sliding around, so these tires weren't going away as much as I thought they would. I figured we'd see them coming, towards the front straightaway there and get a little loose and slide into that outside wall, but that just hasn't happened for the moment.
And Tristan Bailey just slightly outside of that toe bubble, but it does look like he is closing the gap. So it should be just a few more laps. He'll catch the toe of Howell. He should be able to get by him and Boughton, but then from there, he's got some work to do to catch up to Furtick. Osborne has now closed the gap from just about a second and a half to about 3/4 of a second on Tyler Burton.
Including Marlowe getting a little tangled up there. Like these guys are all trying to stay in line here as we're about to that halfway point. So with all the drivers that kind of went through their pit cycle, and they have this data of the drivers who pitted on lap 27, 28, and 29. The highest running driver that pitted on lap 27 is Christopher Howell, and he's running 5th. Tyler Burden pitted on lap 28, running 1st, and Osborne pitted on lap 29, running 2nd. So if I'm judging that, I think I'm going to try and see if I might be able to pit just 1 lap earlier than everybody else, because looks like 2 laps earlier, and it's going to cost you quite a few positions.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. Well, I'm curious to see how Osborne and Burton played this green flag pit stop. See who can still come out in the lead.
We're about a little over halfway, a little under halfway, I guess, through this this run here, as everybody's going to try and make it to 56, 57 before they hit pit lane. Oh, caution is out. Caution is out.
Evan
Marlowe. Well,
hard on the wall.
That will negate everything we were talking about. Stayed off of everybody, though.
Yep. He is going to have some left front damage. Pretty sure he's going to have the toe link knocked out of it, but yeah, that tunnel turn will get you. Didn't sound like too hard of a hit for Marlowe. Looks like he does have some splitter damage and some front end damage. But with these minute and a half, 2 minute pace laps, he might be able to get the majority of that fixed.
Yeah, I think he'll have plenty of time to get the crew working on that. It doesn't look too bad on the side. Looks like most of it's on the nose.
Yeah, just a little bit pushed in right there, the splitter and the left front of the hood.
Wholesale pit stops.
Now, we are close enough to the end of the race that, cautious on saying this, but some of these guys might try and stretch it to the end. It's not going to be easy, but I think it can be done.
Yeah, you probably got a couple laps. And Marlowe's gonna get his damage repaired. Looks like 2 tire stop there for that 94 Toyota.
Yeah, I was wondering who the drivers were going to be that would take 2 on the green flag stop.
Yep, 10 seconds to 15. green flag stop, you definitely get more for your money there, but get you some track position on the hard to pass racetrack that we're on here.
Robert Roth gonna take a wave around, I do believe.
Yeah, he should take the wave around. And there he goes. Kent Mueller was able to get the lucky dog, so he is back on the lead lap.
Does look like Evan Marlowe was able to get out of the pits in front of the pace car, so he will not go a lap down.
Oh, and he spent a minute 30 in his box, so should get a lot of that damage repaired. Let's see if we can check in on that machine.
Oh yeah, he looks in a whole lot better shape, almost completely fixed.
Yeah, he looks good. So light contact there for the 21 Chevy as he's able to get that repaired. He should have enough time to be just up to speed when he hits the field.
Still plenty of time left for him. We'll be restarting with 35 to go. So definitely some time for him to gain some of those positions back.
Yeah, it definitely is. Boughton with the button as he gets ready to take the green flag. Down and away. Gets a good run. Looked like Randy Meeks kind of pulled out to the inside there. Not really going anywhere at the moment. Side by side they go into turn one. Tristan Bailey making up for that mistake on pit road as he is now all over the rear bumper of Tyler Burton and pushing him out front. Boughton slides down to the bottom, going to take advantage of the little push there from Bailey, and he's going to go back to the front. Aggressive driving here after the green flag on this second restart of the race.
Yeah, I think everybody has gotten a good idea of what a long run looks like and how difficult it is to make up time once the field starts to stretch out. So everybody's looking like they're going to be fighting for some position as we restart the race here, just in case it does go long again and it becomes rather difficult to pass.
Right now, 6 of our Eliminator Challenge drivers are inside the top 7. Dwayne Furtick, the only driver that is not in the Eliminator Challenge after having a run-in with Tristan Bailey a couple weeks ago, cost him his chance at those extra points. Tyler Burton was able to get by and is continuing to improve. Furtick and Osborne trying to get by Howell. I think a lot of these guys realize that once they get spread out a little bit, there is hardly any room to pass. So they're trying to take advantage of every chance they can here to get that track position, get a couple more spots, and try and set themselves up for a good finish here tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Mike. As we see Osborne trying to take the high side here and get around Christopher Howell. Going to do a crossover here. He's going to able to clear him. No, it looked like he did. Oh, but as you were saying, yeah, well, as soon as this field gets spread out, it's so hard to gain ground.
It looks like McCall into the wall just a little bit. I think Osborne lost a little bit momentum. See if he's going to gather it back in here as Howell goes clear up almost to that outside wall to try and get a better drive into the front stretch here. As Ludi bounces off the wall, looks like Osborne might have done so as well.
Tristan Bailey able to get around the 94 of Boughton, up in the number 2 spot.
Still can't get by. Hal's running different lines almost every time.
Yeah, no matter what he does, he just can't get around.
Frederick pulling down the block a little bit there. Now Osborne drives up to the high line. Try and dime in the corner a little bit, get a better drive off the corner down the backstretch. Frederick's going to kind of slide down to help him. Howell slides down to block. Wow.
Yeah, Howell's in a tough spot right now because he knows that those two teammates are going to be working together.
Frederick trying to go by the 94 on the inside. .30 to go.
I think these two might be able to get hooked up right here.
Osborne crosses him over, gets behind Furtick, just like you said, and they are hooked up, trying to get by both the 94 and the 1 there.
Oh, contact right there between the 94 and the 51.
Sliding up the track goes Furtick, just enough room to clear the 94. 94 is all over his rear bumper there. Now he'll slide back up and get back in line. Furtick also goes up there. Osborne stays down on the bottom. Boughton there almost cuts off the nose of the 11. Just enough room to get down to the inside. These guys are making some aggressive top to bottom moves. Back and forth they go.
And Boughton just trying to hang on as long as he can. He was one of the drivers that only took 2 tires. But Osborne able to get to his outside and catch a toe off the 51 at Furtick.
I think it's still a net positive for the moment here. Ryan McCall closing in on that outside line as well. I wonder if anybody's going to try and make it to the end of the race. We saw drivers make it.
Verdict. No, Dominic's. Their paint schemes are so close together.
It was an orange car.
Well, they'll be able to make it to the end now.
Yeah. I was gonna say, doesn't matter anymore. Oh man.
It's like the 74th Pete Walsh was involved in that as well. Little contact from the 95.
Barely touched him. That wasn't too bad.
Little bump drive gone wrong right there.
Let's see if we go. On board with Flutie. Little tap there.
Yeah, that was a little if gap car.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as they're coming down, I was say as they're coming down pit road, let's take a quick commercial before we get back to racing because we know it's going to be hot and heavy when they get back here. We'll be right back momentarily here.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
All right, welcome back, everybody. You didn't miss anything while we were away. Reset the field for you as we get going. Christopher Howe, Chris Evans stayed out last bit on lap 42, so they're going to try and make it to the end or maybe hope for another caution here. Tyler Burton, Ryan McCall, John Osborne, Dwayne Furtick, Adam Boughton, Tristan Bailey, Aaron Miller, and Evan Marlowe are going to be the top 10 as they get ready to take the green flag. As we get set here to close out the United Association 200 from Pocono. Little shake-up.
Yeah.
I was to say a little shake-up there with our Eliminator Challenge, too.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. An interesting strategy staying out here. I wonder if their fuel mileage looks like it's going to make it to the end for them, but they might be at a little disadvantage with tires.
I mean, we saw what happened with the 94 when they when he stayed out or took 2 tires and he wound up falling back. So I imagine that that's going to be basically the same thing that's going to happen to the front here. And right away, Tyler Burton goes to the middle and Christopher Howell tries to block and he's just way too late. Caution's going to come out once again.
Ooh, cautions breed cautions. I mean, that was the gap was definitely there for Tyler Burton to put it through the middle there. Unfortunate break is Evans and Christopher Howell get collected.
Riding on board here. Stayed in line after the start-finish line. Goes to the inside.
Gap is there. Looks like they both just tried to pinch him.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't. I mean, you know, the admin team at ECR, they're going to, you know, obviously look at this. But from my point of view, I can't put any fault on Tyler Burton there. The gap was there. He had plenty of room, and he just got squeezed.
It's almost dotted to dotted. Oh, 0 comes down. Probably more than the 1 comes up. I might give that to the 0 there.
Yep.
Comes down just a little too far there. I don't think that he realized that that Tyler was kind of stuck there for the moment. But once again, another caution throws a wrench into the Eliminator Challenge, brought to you by Humanities 101.
Yeah, hopefully Howell doesn't have too much damage and he can come out and keep giving it another run.
Yeah, he's out of the pits, so. See if we can take a little look here. Oh.
Yeah, it's got some
That's got some damage.
Yep, that's going to kill the straightaway speed for sure.
Hal has to get a couple positions there as now he is finding himself on the outside looking in of the eliminator.
Yeah, he's going to have to gain 4 spots and hope that Ludi doesn't gain any.
He's stacking up this time, and they are. Hal's going to come in, try and get more of that damage fixed. He only spent 31 seconds in his box the first time. I would have thought he would have spent closer to that minute time, but definitely starting to get that thing to look a little bit better here.
Yep, and nose looks like it's fixed.
I just has to hurry and get out and get rolling. Green flag is out. Tyler Burton with the button, and he is on the move as Ryan McCall and Tristan Bailey in line behind him.
Yeah, he's got 3 teammates behind him. He's outnumbered.
Osborne trying to stay in that high line, separate the teammates, and he'll slide down to the bottom. But that allows Bailey to get behind McCall. Osborne slides up in front of McCall into P2. Furtick back to 5th. Tristan Bailey.
It's going to be interesting. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say it's going to be an interesting battle. You've got 2 sets of teammates right here in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th.
Yeah, Bailey definitely had the speed when he was up front by himself, but it looks like that that fresh air is helping the 06 a lot as he just ran the fastest lap of the race with a 52.09. Don't have to worry about saving fuel or anything. They have plenty of fuel to make it to the end as we are less than 20 to go here from Pocono.
Yeah, clean air is definitely going to be king here as we see, Burton now 3/4 of a second out in front of Osborne. Really putting that pedal down.
single filed out relatively quickly. Osborne just can't find the momentum to get up there with Tyler Burton, but he is starting to slowly pull away from Ryan McCall.
Oh, we got a big wreck in turn 1. Could be Chris Evans. Like a few cars. Unless it was just him, maybe everybody else got around.
We'll find out momentarily. Oh, 74. Pete Walsh was almost sideways there for a little bit. Gary Nash gets by. Wow. Let's look at this, though. Let's watch Pete Walsh here. Watch right here. Pete Walsh going to come into the corner. Oh, no. Hal gives him a little shap.
Yep, little contact right there.
And right in front of him. Evans goes spinning.
I thought it might have been those bumps that got him loose. But it from the angle, from the straightaway angle, it looked a whole lot better than it was. All I saw was just this huge cloud of smoke.
Yeah, definitely went spinning there, but that's going to reset the field, and that's going to give Osborne another chance here as he's going to start on the front row with Burton.
Yeah, and now the teammates of McCall and Bailey are going to have to push somebody who's not a teammate. I think they're going to try and work together as best as they can, but as the finish line comes closer to us, I think we might see an every man for himself strategy start to play out. I mean, if it finishes in this order, they're both going to get a good finish, both being in the top 5. And you see we've got their third teammate, Evan Marlowe, going to be starting in 5th. So there'll be 3 teammates up front. Have some people to work with. We'll see how it goes.
Well, half the field elected to come down pit road, so... Didn't think 10-lap old tires would be a huge factor, but I guess we'll find out. Burton, Osborne, McCall, Bailey, Marlowe, Holtzman, Howell, Nash all stayed out.
Yeah, these guys who pit, I mean, I really don't think they have anything to lose. Even if you lose one spot, I still don't think that's how do I say this? I still don't think it's a bad call, right? Because if you think the way that these guys up front have been running, especially Tyler Burton, they're gonna need all they can get.
Yeah, definitely have to try to do something different, or you're just going to be stuck there. It looks like we're going to have a tight battle here for the eliminator spot as well, as Mueller, Denise, and Ludi are all right next to each other on this restart.
Yeah, we're going to have 2 battles that we're going to have to watch. We're going to have the battle up front and the battle for the last eliminator spot. In my unprofessional opinion, Tyler Burton and John Osborne are going to have to work together to keep McCall, Bailey, and Marlowe out of play. But if Tyler Burton gets the restart that he did a few laps ago, I don't think he's going to need anybody to work with him, but we shall see, because Bailey, Marlowe, and McCall, they can get hooked up. They're going to have a good draft going.
Well, even if they don't, it should allow Tyler Burton to basically settle it with himself and Osborne.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be hard for Furtick to battle through the field, I believe.
Well, if you can't pass him, wreck him. I'm just kidding, folks. I'm just kidding. I don't condone that type of behavior.
All set up again. Burden with the button. He chose the outside. That way his teammate could be right there with him as they hit that restart zone. Down and away. Massive run here for Tyler Burton and Tristan Bailey. Osborne kind of checked up that inside line, trying to wait for them to go.
Three wide as they go into turn one.
That is crazy that they were three wide, and that Christopher Howell is fighting now for a top 5 finish after having his car damaged almost beyond repair. Spent almost 2 minutes in his pit box getting that thing fixed up, and now that one machine is fighting for a top 10 or top 5.
Yeah, and with all those cars pitting in front of him, that gave him the position.
Dwayne Furtick down to the inside, trying to pass every driver he can, door to door with Marlowe. These two can't seem to get away from each other either.
No, definitely not. And they've got the 24 of Holtzman kind of slowing them up just a little bit.
Yeah, Holtzman held him up just a touch there. Now he's on his way to Christopher Howell, but up front, it's the Burton Bailey show once again, as they are making some ground here to get away from Osborne. Osborne's hanging back in third. He's about 3/10 back from Bailey and doesn't have too much help coming in from behind either.
Now these three are slowly pulling away from the field. It's going to be a three-way battle for the lead here, I believe.
Wayne Furtick taking no prisoners here. 51.93, fastest lap of the race.
Going to get to the inside of Howell here. Trying to side draft him as much as he can. Still on the inside quarter of him. Go ahead and complete that pass into turn number one. He's going to start working on Ryan McCall.
Trying to make his way down that backstretch and close in on McCall, trying to get his teammate some help here. Bouncing off the wall just a little bit. Bailey Burton has grown that gap to 0.4 of a second now over Osborne. Call Freddick still back there. Looks like it's 3 wide back here with Holtzman, Boughton, and Mueller. Back a little bit further. And you got Denise and Ludi battling for that final eliminator spot.
And these two are going to be side by side coming out of 3 here, I believe. The nice, almost clear.
Not quite. Looks like Ludi's going to go to battle back and take that position. The 18 of Michael Carter up in that high line, going to get by. He's bouncing off the wall a little bit. Looks like Dominic's did as well. Wow. Bailey is all over the rear bumper there with Burden.
Yeah, I was taking a look at the relative there and saw that Bailey had gotten it within 1/10 of a second. He's going to need to find some clean air and some momentum to get around Tyler Burden.
It looks like Tyler Burden has slowed down just a little bit, not able to keep that pace that he was running earlier, as that has allowed Osborne to close in as well now. It'll be a 3-way battle here. It looks like Marlowe pulled out a line there, thought he was maybe going down to the inside wall. Osborne's only 0.2 back.
These guys are driving the wheels off of these cars. Tyler Burton doing a heck of a job fighting off Tristan Bailey. Be 5 to go coming to the line.
On board with Osborne as he's trying to run these two down.
Looked like
5 to go.
Osborne had a really good exit out of the tunnel turn.
They just can't get any momentum to make these passes. They're all top 3 drivers are all within a couple hundredths of each other as far as lap times go.
Yeah, it's just so amazing how you can gain so much momentum down these straightaways and essentially lose all of it in these turns.
Kent Mueller pulled clear out of line, trying to save some spots there. Nice is trying to close in on Ludi. Has Michael Carter between himself and Ludi.
I think we might see Tristan Bailey go for a move here into one. He can get this momentum coming out of turn 3.
He could let Tyler get another win this season.
Yeah, he can. I mean, he does have 5 already.
I mean, Tyler only has 1.
You can't have all the wins, Tristan Bailey.
Starting to heat up towards the back here. Only a couple car lengths between Ludi and Denise. Just can't quite get the momentum. Going to be 2 to go now when they come to the line. Bailey gets a massive run through the middle of the corner and closes that gap. Burden's a little better on entry.
And Osborne now within 0.2 of a second of Tristan Bailey.
It looks like Dwayne Furtick has fallen off the pace as he is now running 6th after Christopher Howe got by. White flag in the air for the United Association 200. Osborne going to pull down to the inside, try and make a move here. Well, not quite enough momentum. Headed into turn number 1. Osborne bounces off the wall just a little bit, trying to get some momentum there. Tristan Bailey goes down the block, gets sent off into the wall. Spinning goes Bailey. Tyler Burden going to come through turn 3 all by himself. Osborne second. And that leaves Bailey as the eliminated one. Oof. Take a look here, see what happened. Osborne gets a massive run. Top 3 finishers, Burden, Osborne, and McCall. See if we can get a third place finisher up here in the booth for you.
Ryan McCall, this is Front Row Joe in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy. You guys hear me?
I got you, buddy. So, came away with a third place finish tonight. You were trying to work with your teammates the majority of the race. Kind of walk me through that last restart.
Honestly, I was trying to give off a little bit to try to get a run on John and pass him in going into one. But my teammate Evan actually gave me a little bit of a bump too early. So I kind of had to kind of stick in line. And at that point, I'm just trying to stay within touch, trying to stay in clean air, see if I can get to John's quarter to get the third naturally. But I'll take that one how it finished out. Just it sucks for John.
Yes, unfortunate there for Tristan Bailey. His wreck ultimately gave you the third place finish there. But how difficult was it to try and navigate and through these turns and keep momentum?
I mean, dirty air is terrible in these cars. So the biggest thing is just trying to go where they're not, just to get it to turn. Because otherwise, if you follow somebody in there, you're just going to go right up the hill. And I was able to make up a couple spots early from qualifying as terribly as I always do. So I'm just able to get runs that way and be able to get a little bit better momentum. That was kind of the game there.
Yeah, it's qualifying is tricky, but some people will argue that it doesn't matter where you start, matters where you finished, and you came with third place tonight. So congratulations on that. Excuse me. You may have just gotten into the chase. We will have to see how the points play out once the results get posted. But third place tonight, not a bad finish. I'll take a podium any day of the week. But before we let you go, Mr. McCall, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done tonight?
Definitely the AAONs guys. I mean, I've been struggling with time to work on this stuff. I got a lot of post outside iRacing to deal with right now. So, getting on, and those guys just give me pointers here and there. Even though we've run a couple of these places, just every update just doesn't help me out. So, those guys are super helpful and helping me get caught up to speed. So, those guys are definitely numero uno in my book.
Well, that's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan McCall, your third place finisher tonight here at Pocono. Ryan, we look forward to seeing you next week at Pocono, my friend. Excuse me, at Chicago.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
John Oz. Hey, John, Mike from the booth, man. How's it going?
Mike, what's up, man?
Well, that was a eventful final little lap, but other than that, you guys ran Pocono relatively clean. Seemed like it was hard to pass and hard to get any sort of track position without some pit strategy. How was it out there for that 11 crew?
It's very tight. Clean air was king. After the green flag stops, I felt like I was, a little bit better than the 6, especially on the long run. But dirty air makes it so hard. So I don't know how that was going to pan out, and we'll never know. Because we had the caution, and then after that we had a few more. And so just trying to figure out if you're going to take tires, if you're going to take 2, if you're going to take 4. We learned late there in the race that coming in and taking 2 tires didn't matter. So, the ones of us that stayed out up front were able to pretty much stay up there. But the car was a handful. There's a lot of speed in it. The 10% extra horsepower, which is a lot of fun. But it also makes the dirty air just a whole lot worse. So you're trying to figure out where you can put your car that's not behind somebody else, and maybe if you can get right back behind them out of the corner, and you can use the draft. But honestly, like if you got a little above them or underneath them, usually underneath them, you could still be faster than them and not using the draft as long as there wasn't anybody behind you. Um, but overall, it was a good night. Man, I never want to, send somebody, uh, but I didn't. I mean, he he blocked me down so low, and I had such a run in the tunnel, and um, he just kept coming down, and at that point right there, man, there's, I can't see because his car is like so in my, field of view that it screwed up my braking point. So, but I mean, I'm not going to live for him either. It's the last lap, and but I mean, I never want to dump a guy like that. But I said I'm not going to lift, and then I went back and watched it, and I did lift. As soon as I bumped him, I was off the throttle. Um, but sorry to the nine. I know he's probably going to take it personal. He'll pay me back, as I got into him at Richmond too. That one was a complete accident. Not that this one was on purpose. It's just when you're trying to get up there and have these good finishing spots, and he's dominating everything. And not that I want to wreck him because of that, but every position matters in trying
Yeah,
to gain points. And so,
definitely.
that's the important thing. We had a good points night. I hated that we got a 2x there at the end because it takes away some bonus points. But I don't know if I led a lap or not. Anyway, yeah, overall good night. My teammate decided to come down and take 2 tires there, toward the end, and I thought that might be able to help me, but he just never was able to get up there. So I was like, man, I'm gonna see of Eon's Motorsports. I was like, we'll see how this works, But um, man, I'm not a very aggressive driver, and but winning these things and having good finishes, man, it's tough.
Oh yeah.
Especially in this car when it's as tight as it is. And so, like I said, I never want to send a guy, but at the same token, if you're going to block me all the way down there, well, I mean, actions have consequences. And sorry, buddy, you can, you know, what did Dale Earnhardt say about Terry Labonte when he got into him at Bristol? I was just trying to rattle his cage. I wasn't even trying to do that. I was just trying to stay below him. Uh, it's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but congrats to Tyler. It was a great race by him, and Clean Air was king, and he did a good job of doing his best to keep clean air. So, great job to the 06. Sorry, Tyler. But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
man.
Well, anybody else you want to thank before you get out of here tonight?
I definitely want to thank my teammate Dwayne. We put a lot of work in this week because we knew this thing was going to be very, very tight. Passing was going to be very difficult, so we were trying to get a leg up and try to put one of us on the pole. We were close, but not 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 close enough. Definitely want to thank him, the overall team of Legion Incorporated Racing. I want to thank Kent and Adam for the league they put on here, ECR. Always fun. Say it all the time. Thank you up here in the booth. Um, appreciate you and everything that you do. And I know we gave you some good racing tonight. That is for sure. Uh, and where are we going next? Chicago?
Chicagoland.
Chicago's good high momentum track. What's up, Joe? Doing good front
What's
row?
going on, man? Hanging in there, buddy. Hanging in there.
Yeah, good. Well, appreciate everybody at Sim Racing Media. You guys do a fantastic job. Look forward to watching the broadcast back. Last but not least, I want to thank my dad. Love my dad to death. Hope he's watching. He said he was going to watch it tonight. So, Dad, one position short, and we'll keep after it. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again on your second place finish, and we'll see what you guys can do at Chicagoland. All right, Joe. I will bring in Tyler for you.
Tyler Burton, Joe, front row Joe up in the booth. How's it going, man?
It's going.
Say another win for the Aeon guys. Unfortunate for Tristan Bailey, but nevertheless, you came away with a win tonight. How's it feel to get your second win in the ECR series?
It feels real good. I drove down to my mom and dad's house, spend the day with my niece, and we went ahead and celebrated my birthday's on Tuesday, but we went ahead and celebrated my birthday today. We went out to eat and stuff like that. So I just spent time with family and just like I've said for the last couple of weeks, I'm just having a lot of fun. I'm in I'm just enjoying things right now. I'm taking things a little slower and just trying to get through the
So,
weeds of stuff.
yep, I know exactly what you mean, man. Sometimes just taking a step back and looking at things from a different perspective and soaking in the moment and just going out there and having fun is what you need to get it done.
Yeah.
Walk me through how tough it was coming to the checkered flag. You got Tristan Bailey and John Osborne in your review, and those guys are going at it.
I really, the last couple laps, I was not looking in the mirror. I was just, which is very odd for me because I have very good peripheral vision, but I didn't even look in the mirror. I was just driving. I was just gunning for it, trying to get everything I could out of the car. After seeing a huge group of cars come in and pit, take tires, I was wondering when everybody else was gonna catch up to us, and fortunately it played out in my favor where I was fast enough to stay ahead, and those cautions there, they really didn't help anything. I was really wanting it to stay green, but hey, I was able to do the pits and everything, make sure I did everything on pit road correct, and be able to control most of those most of those restarts. I do want to give a shout out to Christopher Hallwell. I feel really bad about what happened. I threw it in there 3 wide, and I felt like I held my line, and I was just the meat in the sandwich, and Hallwell was just, he got hooked hard on that situation. The zero started dooring me, and it started pushing me toward his left rear, and I hadn't, there was nothing I could do. I do feel bad for that because he got really, really screwed. So, but yeah, coming to the checkered, I just happened to look in the mirror, and I seen what looked like Tristan doing a helicopter, and I asked what happened, and I didn't get a response, and I heard what John said and over comms, and but I just, there was nothing I could do. I just drove it on home to get the win, and that's really all I was looking for.
Yeah, well, you definitely drove the wheels off of it. We did. You'll probably have a chance to go back and watch the broadcast and see what happened. But me, it just looked like a racing incident. Bailey was coming down the block, and Osborne just had a massive run, and just a little bit of a bump gone wrong there. But nevertheless, don't want to take the spotlight away from you. Coming away with your second win tonight and the ECR series, get you some more championship points, and looking forward to see you next week in Chicago. But before we let you go, Mr. Tyler, who do you want to thank? Who helped you get it done tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank all the Eons guys, Tristan Bailey, Ryan McCall. I'm real happy he got third today. Like we said, it's real unfortunate for Tristan, but Oh yeah, Chris, Rowdy Travis Designs. He wanted me to give y'all the oh yeah, because he made this car. It looks like the Slim Jim car.
Yep.
And he's supposed to be Randy Savage. Um, uh, so and my mom and dad, my dad for getting me into racing. I was actually with us spending time with family. I went down there and my dad decided, hey, I got a motor that needs to go in a rollback truck. You want to put it together with me? And I said, I kind of want to ride go-karts with my niece, but I guess it was raining, so we couldn't really ride go-karts. So we went and did that. Who else? Humanities 101. I can't say enough how happy I am that they come aboard, and they've been with us for couple years now, and I'm real happy that they've come aboard with the whole league and everything, putting up sponsorship and stuff like that. You know, Stan. I know Stan's real busy with work and stuff, and Michael York, uh, uh, Evan Marlowe. He had some unfortunate stuff happen to him today. He got damaged and he was able to get it fixed on pit road, but he said the car just didn't have speed after that. But yeah, and all the guys in the league and everything. And you guys for putting on the broadcast. We really appreciate it.
Well, we definitely appreciate being here and being able to give you guys the best show that we can deliver. So, but ladies and gentlemen, your race winner tonight, Tyler Boughton, gets his second win in the ECR series. And Tyler, we'll look forward to seeing you next week in Chicago, my friend.
All right, thanks, guys.
With that, let's go ahead and bring up the race results. Tyler Boughton, John Osborne, Ryan McCall. Our Charger, Alan Holtzman. Tyler Boughton led the most laps with 44. Dwayne Furtick, fastest lap. Evan Marlowe was quick early, had that 21 machine on the pole. 4 cautions for 12 laps. 4 green flag lead changes with 6 different leaders. So congrats to these guys as they go forward to Chicagoland. And it looks like because of that last lap crash. Oh, maybe not. Looks like Denise might be eliminated here depending on timing and scoring at the end of the race because of when he got damaged and he didn't and doesn't look like he was able to complete that lap. According to the official results or unofficial results, Tristan Bailey finished 15th and Doug Denise finished 16th. So Tristan Bailey might live to fight another day. But with that being said, do you want to say anything before we close it out here, Joe?
Yeah, man, I just want to thank everybody for sticking around for the broadcast. Big thanks to the guys at ECR for allowing Sim Racing Media to be their broadcast network. And a big thank you to you for all you've done for us, buddy.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again to Tyler Boughton for getting his second race win. And from all the drivers of the Boughton Enterprises LLC NextGen series and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you guys a good night. We'll see you next week at Chicagoland for a 234-lap race. So good night, everybody.